What is happening, everybody? It is 2024. It's a distant memory, 2025. Hello. How you doing, Mr. Michaels?
I'm doing pretty good. Yourself?
Can't complain, man. Can't complain. Let's get right to the show. We are here to do the third annual Samp&Chance Boxing Year in Review. Wow, what a year. I thought 2023 was a great year. 2024 was an amazing year. I cannot wait. Yeah. I cannot wait to see what they're going to give us in 2025. I'm going to ask you a question very simply before we start everything. In your opinion, because the one combat sport that's mostly compared to boxing is MMA.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did boxing, in your opinion, have a better year than MMA, or did MMA have a better year?
That's a great question, man. Very good question.
I know I'm putting you on the spot.
No, I like it. I'm gonna say boxing had a better year simply because we finally got the fights together. We finally got our ducks in a row, and when we do that, we can compete with UFC because they put on quality cards. They had a massive year too. I'll give the edge to boxing just because we got our ducks in a row. Last year UFC kicked our butt, but this year we got the best fighting the best. The big boys are going at it. We're trying our best, and we had some big cards too. We stacked some of our cards too. So I'm gonna give the edge to boxing on this one.
Yeah, no, I totally agree, and that was my thinking as well. I mean, I think we've come to expect that from MMA.
Yeah, exactly.
And for boxing, even though it's been around for hundreds of years, I mean, from bare knuckle to where it's evolved to today, I almost feel that 2024 was a coming out again.
It was
a reemergence, a rebirth. It's like the phoenix reemerged, and I think MMA should be cautious now.
Yeah, boxing's
look. I'm gonna say this about MMA. When you look at MMA, they lost a lot of their big names, right? So in a way, 2024 was almost like a transitional thing. You lost Adesanya's star power. You lost, this guy's star power, started to deal that were the biggest names in mixed martial arts. Thankfully, they had Alex Pereira to step up. You know what I mean? But the names that are at the top right now aren't garnering the attention that a Connor would or an Adesanya would, or
They still got John Jones. They got a few guys, but I know what you're saying.
Right, but even John Jones. I mean, you just think about it. I don't think outside of that community, people really know who he is.
Yeah, but yeah, they stacked their cards. At UFC 300 was big at the Sphere, so they know what they're doing. But they had a great year too. But I give that to boxing for sure.
Yeah, 100%. All right, let's get into it, man. Boxer of the Year 2024. I'm going to be honest. I'm with Alexander Usyk.
Has to be. It's nobody else.
Right. Usyk, just for the year that he had. Yeah, he only had 2 fights. But one of those fights were the fights that are just generational. Everybody wants to see. I don't care who you are. Heavyweight championship on the line. Undisputed. Not just for 1 or 2 or 3. All of them. You know what I mean? 2 guys undefeated going into that ring. That hands down, makes and winning that convincingly, and just to prove everyone right, prove everyone wrong who doubted him. He came in and he did it again.
Yep, he slayed the giant. He slayed the big bad wolf, and
he slayed both the big bad wolves back to back to back.
Yeah,
right. I mean, he took 4 in a row there.
5 if you want to throw Dubois in there.
That one's always questionable because a lot of people think that he kind of, if there's a stain on Usyk, it's that fight.
Yeah, but he still got the W though. So I mean, 5 in a row, beat all the big muscle guys.
He beat everyone. He's beaten everyone, man. I mean, and so for me, Usyk hands down has to be the boxer of the year. There's a lot of guys out there that did great work. I think about Bam. Against Gallo, that was just phenomenal. Like what Bam accomplished as well. I mean, it's just awesome. Like you can't go wrong there as well. But I guess at the end of the day, it has to be Usyk just because of the division, what was at stake, and just the way it all played out this year for him.
Undefeated. He was undisputed there in the first fight. We finally got to see the 2 best heavyweights of this generation go at it. He won them both fair and square.
He's never get
pound for pound. He's number 1 fighter in the world. And
you don't get
an all-time great.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's all those things. He's amazing. One of the best boxers to ever live.
No, 100%. All right, female of the year.
That one's a little more tricky. You could go in a few ways with that. We got that Serrano Taylor fight too, was classic. But I mean, I guess it has to be Carissa Shields still. Who else is topping her? The
Well,
star power, the quality of the fights. I mean, who else in the female division? I think eclipses Carissa Shields, so I had to go with her. Who do you have?
I wouldn't Amanda Serrano.
It could go that way too, yeah.
I went Amanda Serrano, because I think she had the harder fights. Nothing against Clarissa Shields. Yeah, she's the GOAT, and she moved
Yeah.
up, different weight classes, this and that. But you just look at the level of competition that both those girls fought in 2024. I mean, even before Katie Taylor, the fights that she had before that, these were quality girls that she was fighting. She hasn't taken any easy fights. And that fight against Katie Taylor, 50,000 plus watching it live at the time. That's amazing in its own right for female boxing. To be cheated twice, some people can argue. I don't think she was cheated in the first fight, but I think she got robbed in the second one. Definitely, she should have won that fight. But her composure, the way she contained herself, the way she dealt with it, was top notch, pure professionalism. The girl's a beast, and she's done really well for herself. For me, it was Amanda Serrano this year, and maybe it was a bit of a sympathy thing for me as well, because she should have won.
Yeah.
Which would have, made that rematch, like that trilogy, even better. You're going in tied up 1-1, right?
Yeah.
So the tiebreaker. So for me, it was Amanda Serrano, in my opinion.
I just have to go with Chris. She's top, like you said, different weight classes, top of the female boxing world, the biggest star. Somebody's been able to take her out, knock her out, 100%. Finish her yet. So
yeah. All right, man. This one's always fun. Promotion of the year.
Well, this one becomes tricky because you have His Excellency in there, right? So he's taking all these promotions under his umbrella, and he's taking Top Rank, Golden Boy, Matchroom, Queen. He's putting them all in the same card, which is great, right? So it's really hard to say what's the promotion of the year, but it has to be the Riyadh season then, right? What else could it be? Because he's taking everybody putting under that umbrella. So if you want to call that the promotion, it has to be the promotion of the year, and he is the promoter of the year by a country mile. Because look at all the good fights he put together. His first year of boxing, people forget. His Excellency's first boxing was put together. It was a sideshow. He put together Fury versus Nagano, and then from there, he took it by storm. So, Riyadh season, His Excellency, best promotion, best promoter, and it's not even close.
Okay, fair enough. And I thought about all that kind of stuff, but I'm thinking, like you said, he's bringing all the other promoters kind of umbrella with him, right? So for me, I went a little differently. I said Queensberry this year. I think Frank Warren winning the 5 versus 5.
They had a great year. Yeah, that was awesome.
Right? The winning the 5 versus 5 and not even close. It was just a blowout.
Oh yeah.
From that perspective, watching Nick Ball do what he did this year as well under that banner. Yeah. Watching Daniel Dubois do what he did this year. I guess the only stain would be the 2 Tyson fights for him. Other than that, I thought that,
which are close fights too. It's not a big,
and they were close fights, right? But if there was anything that he was not happy about, but overall, I think Queensberry presented the better talent. They had the best results, and for me, Frank Warren, or not Frank Warren per se, but promotion of the year was Queensberry.
Yeah, if you look at it from that perspective, I got to look at this because
I get you.
He brought all the boys to the dance.
I get you. All right, man. Everyone's favorite. Or you know what? Before we go there, let's just keep this in the same vein here. Promoter of the year, then.
His Excellency. It's not
Excellency.
Nobody even compares.
No, and that's where I kind of like when I was looking at Queensberry, and when I was looking at this, I'm thinking, well, how do we do this, right?
Yeah.
But then at the end of the day, he's the promoter of the promoter.
Exactly. He's bringing it together. He's putting the money up.
Right.
He's giving us the fights. Look what he did. Fury Usyk, Better Biev Bivol.
Yeah.
On and on and on. All the heavyweight fights he gave us. He gave us Wilder versus Zhang. Go on and on.
Yeah. Yeah. And you can, and then being in Los Angeles, having a card in LA, doing a card in Wembley, right? I think the one fear that we have right now is boxing fans in North America, and I say fear, but the quality of matches that we're getting on this side of the world are diminishing.
Yep.
But I hope, and from what I'm understanding and hearing and listening to from De La Hoya and other guys that are talking, that they will be doing more in North America. They have to keep Vegas. They have to keep New York alive. They can't.
The problem is actually just going to pay the big money, get the big fights. And if we're just getting average fights, we don't care about that. We want the big fights. If they're going to be over there, then it's hard to compare.
This is where I think Turkish is going to start bringing some of those cards over a bit more. We saw that a little bit last year. I think that's just going to be. I'm hoping for that. But
if he does do that, he's playing nice. But he doesn't have to do that.
Well, he doesn't have to, but he also has to understand that you can't. You're going to alienate a huge population of your audience if you don't give us a little something back, right?
But no, because I think he's putting the pay-per-views on for $20 on the zone now. So he dropped the fight.
That's true.
This guy's smart. So Ari Emanuel jacks him up, and Turkish brings it down.
No. I get it. I get it completely. But at the same time, it's great to watch a show on pay-per-view all the time. Mm-hmm. But if you don't have any actual, real, physical connection.
Well, the next big fight we got is on the 1st in Vegas. That's Benavidez versus Morel.
Well, there you go. But what I'm saying
I know what you're saying, though.
Watching it on TV is great. But after a while, it becomes like, well, why should I be invested? Nothing comes our way.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. You got to be there too. Yeah.
So they need to do that. I'm hoping that's that's my hope for 2025, because this year we didn't get great fights here.
Not we had really.
Nothing. Everything was a Saturday afternoon for the most part.
Yeah.
Right.
Fights and which is great. Like that,
which is great for families, because then you can go out and do stuff. But I mean, at the same time, there's just something about raking the leaves on a Saturday afternoon, cleaning the gutters, knowing.
Well, I think the biggest fight we had in the States was Garcia versus Haney.
Yeah, right. So I mean, and even that turned out to be a shit show at the end.
It was exciting while the fight was on. But
Yeah. All right, man. Let's go on to what everybody's favorite year award is. This one's hard. I thought this would be easy, but this one was hard. KO of the year. Mr. Michaels, what do you say?
There's so many. There's 5 or 6 really you could throw in there, and you can't really dispute it. But I went with this one because of the significance of it and the star power and the name value. So I took that all into consideration instead of finding some guys that we've never really heard of, you know what I mean? So for me, it's Daniel Dubois finishing off Anthony Joshua. 90,000 people in Wembley.
Yeah.
Slayed the Giant, took him down. Everybody counted him. I said on the show that Dubois would win, but most people had Joshua winning. And then Dubois just smashed him, put him down, put him out. Took Dubois from this level, put him up in the high pedestal. Dubois is going to be a champion soon. It's just a matter of time. He's going to get all the belts eventually. He's only 27. So Daniel Dubois, KO and Anthony Joshua, 90,000 people in Wembley Stadium. What a sight, what a scene, what a punch.
Yeah.
Daniel Dubois.
No, 100%. And you know what? Ultimately, I had picked the exact same thing, Daniel Dubois, the knockout. And again, it's just the way it happened, I think, is what makes it so beautiful. Up until that round, until that 5th round, right? Until that 5th round, he'd already knocked him down 2, 3, 4 times, right? And then you look at Joshua coming, he came alive.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And you thought, oh, shit, this is going to end here. He got him with that straight right, setting him up for the kill shot. And then Daniel was out of nowhere with that one punch. And you knew the knockout was legit because it was one of those head first knockouts.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Just the way he went down. And it was unexpected. No one thought the beating that Joshua took from Dubois was going to happen. The way
I knew Dubois was going to win, but I didn't think he was going to beat him down like that.
Well, that's what I mean. That's what I mean, right? Now, that being said, there were 2 fights that I was debating about as well. One was the body knockout.
Yeah.
But then again, like you said, up-and-comer guys, nothing against MVP, but it wasn't, unknown names. Now, the guy that he knocked out, I can't remember his name right now, but he was on the fast track to be fighting Floyd Schofield this weekend.
Yeah.
In December.
His name was Sylvie or Sylvie.
Sylvie, thank you.
Yeah.
Right? He was on the fast track. No one, that's why I had a hard time debating.
Came out of nowhere, Lucas Batty, boom.
Right, yeah. Lucas Batty, Canadian, and that's the tough part. It was a Canadian. I really would have
another knockout of the year. I was had in consideration. I had this for the female knockout of the year. And like I said, I found this out about a month ago when I was studying. I didn't know what happened at the time. People go on YouTube and you can watch it. It happened 1 minute and 1 second into the first round. Anna Wolf KOs Wanda Ward.
Yeah.
Bam. It's a vicious knockout.
Exactly.
Probably more devastating than Dubois, but the name value wasn't there. But Anna Wolf over Ward. 1 minute, 1 second into the first round. It's a vicious knockout.
Yeah. To add to that as well, again, Bam Rodriguez against, Gallo. I mean, just the body shot, that was unexpected as well, considering Gallo's that type of boxer that you wouldn't get that. You know what I mean? And Gallo's not a tough out, an easy out, sorry. So, major consideration of Bam as well. I was thinking of another one, the Wardley knockout.
Yeah, Clark.
Clark, that was insane as well. Broke
And
his
you can go
jaw,
Zhang Wilder. There's so many good ones too, right?
right? I mean,
Lots
we
of
can
good
go
fights.
on and on and on, but because that Dubois knockout came out of nowhere, and the stylistic,
In front of 90,000 people too.
in front of 90,000 people, and the visual, just the way Joshua went down. You know, that's not a little man going down. That's a big man going down.
A big, strong man.
Right? It's like watching a
Well,
building.
now that the only good thing that come about Fury losing twice, Josh losing all these fights, going out 3-4 in a row, whatever he's lost. You're going to see Fury Joshua in 2025. It's lost its luster. It'll still be a great fight to settle that beef, but it won't have quite the mystique around it, but it'll still be cool to see it. They'll still sell out Wembley.
It's going to sell out Wembley. These guys are going to make a killer paycheck off of it. But be careful with this fight. You got guys, both of them, coming off of defeats. There's a lot more at stake here than people might be considering. You know what I mean? Like, this might be...
Well, this is for the king of England for boxing of this generation,
This is going to be a sleeper fight for a lot of people in North America, but man, do not blink. This thing might be just an amazing fight. We might be talking about this fight this time next year.
Yeah. If it's a good fight, the first one will get 2 out of it. It's going to happen.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen. That's the only That's the only fight left for either one of them.
Yeah.
Right? The ship has sailed when it comes to the titles. They're done.
They can't beat Usyk. They never will.
Right? And you know, it's Dubois' generation now.
Yeah, Dubois and Usyk.
Well, Usyk as well, but he's still an old man. I mean, an old man. I mean, he's 37, but I mean, the guy probably still has another 5-6 fights in him. Obviously, I can concede to that.
Yeah.
But you know what? I think the division's locked up until he decides to relinquish his titles.
Pretty much, dude. Nobody's going to beat him.
No, not right now. Not right now. But I think we're seeing the changing of the guard in the heavyweight division now, right? Like, now we're getting the young boys up, and we're getting to start to see some of that.
Yeah.
And that leads me right into this one. Prospect of the year.
Oh, man, there's a few I was thinking about. You got to go with Bam, even though you call him a prospect. Not really. He is. He isn't.
Call him a prospect.
I went with Abdullah Mason from Top Rank.
Okay.
He's undefeated. He's a KO machine. He's exciting. He's super, super young. He's in his early 20s. So, prospect of the year. And he's fairly well known. But for me, Top Rank's own Abdullah Mason.
Okay, fair enough. Abdullah Mason had a great year. Went 5-0 this year.
Mm-hmm.
Hiccup was in his last fight against Johan when he got knocked down twice in the first round, but then he got up and he knocked him down in the second round. So he got
the win.
He faced adversity for the first time in his career, and he handled it like a champion, right? So you can't go wrong with that. But for me, tying into the whole heavyweight thing, for me, it has to be Moses Atuma.
Yeah,
I'm going that direction. 19 years old. His mission is to become the youngest world heavyweight champion, trying to beat Mike Tyson's record. I don't think it's going to happen, unfortunately.
No, at least it's kicking around.
Well, no, it's not going to happen, but this guy is great. He went 4-0 this year. 2 of them ended in the first round. The other 2 ended in the second round. The last 2 guys that he fought, I can't recall the last guy's name, but he's like, he's a veteran, but a former world champion in his own right, whatever. But then his last fight against Dempsey here, this guy took Hrgovic, to 12. Again, he's considered reputable. He's not like a chump or anything.
Yeah.
So for them to take him out that way, I'm looking for for his Moses' 2025. Do they put him with Zhang? Do they put him with who now? Sort of a deal. Because this guy's a machine. What I love about Moses is his hand speed. This guy's got fast hands for a heavyweight.
Dempsey McKean.
Yeah. So that I look at Moses' hand speed. He's not a big guy. He's about the same size as Usyk.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So maybe we're seeing a shift of the heavyweight division here. You don't have to be a monster tower of a man to be a world champion.
No, he's got all the tools in the world. He's just turned 20 now. Yeah, on December 20th. But yeah, he's 20 years old. He's got everything you want. We'll see what he can do. Keep on winning.
Yeah,
Sky's the limit for him.
It is. And so for me, you can't go wrong with either one of those guys. But I think the thing that changed for me was the fact that, the damage that that Abdullah had taken against Johan.
Yeah.
That's good, right?
Good pick. Yeah.
All right, I had to parch my throat there. Card of the year, Mr. Chance Michaels. What do you think?
There are so many good cards, right? This is a tough one. You got the Wilder Zhang card. You got the Better BF Bivol card. This is a toss-up for me, man. But I went with the Better Be a Bibble card. I thought that was last year. It was almost a year ago, but I like that card. We got who else was on that card? Better Be a Bibble, and we had I can't remember it all in order, but that card was loaded. So Better Be a Bibble, February 22nd, 2024. I like that fight, that card. That was actually, I think, the second card that Turkish ever did. And he finally bought two undefeated guys together.
Yeah.
He made that fight happen when nobody else could.
That was a great card as well, but for me, it was a 5-on-5.
Yeah, this is the Wilder and Zhang one. That was a good one.
The Wilder and Zhang was really good, and because it was unexpected.
The ball was on there, Herkovich.
Exactly, and it just upset after upset, and just I think I enjoyed watching the faces of Frank Warren and Eddie Hearn. As each match progressed here, Nick Ball was on that card as well, I believe, against that tall guy. But yes,
yeah. I know what you mean.
So all right. So I'm going 5-on-5, and you're going Bivol Better Beef.
Yeah, they're all good cards. 5-on-5 was good. So many good cards this year.
All right, man. Last one of the year. Here we go. Announced team.
Yeah, Better Be. I'm sorry, it had Wardley Clark on there. Eubank Jr. on there. Whitaker was on it. That was the card.
Yeah.
That was the one that I liked.
Sure, it was February. I thought it was. It was before, after that.
I can't remember the exact date it was. Maybe it was after. I thought it was spring.
No. Bivol and Better Be were supposed to headline the 5-on-5 card.
Yeah, but they got injured.
And then they came back. So I think we got this in like
spring, April, May, something like that.
You know what? I'll look it up. I'll put it in the notes here.
Can't remember.
I thought it was
so many fights, but yeah, it wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago. Because I'm surprised. Like I was surprised the turnaround for the rematch here. Mm-hmm. And while I say that, I got to apologize. I was misinformed. I thought that fight got canceled because of his wrist. Now I forgot. I think Michael Benson's retired.
Yes.
Right. So some clown has a fake Benson account.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't look at it properly. I just saw Michael Benson and read it. I'm like, oh shit, okay. Michael Benson never lies. But then I realized it was a stupid account.
Somebody fake one up.
Yeah. So I apologize for that misinformation right there. All right, man. Let's end this off with our favorite announced team. Without these guys, boxing is great on its own, but it's always nice to hear someone explain it as we watch it. Who did you have for your announced team of the year? I think we're both in agreement here. But
yeah, there's so many good ones. There's a few good ones, right? I really enjoy Todd Grisham.
Yeah.
He's really good. I was considering him. But for me, just because of the knowledge that you get with Tim Bradley, he's very fair. He's not biased at all. I don't think at all.
No.
He calls it as he sees it.
Yeah.
He calls a ball, a strike, a strike.
Yeah.
And then you throw in Joe Cacciatore's voice, his excitement. He's not over the top, yelling all the time like Morinello. He lets the fight breathe. He lets some stuff play out. So for that, top rank, Joe Cacciatore and Tim Bradley for me are head and shoulders above everybody. But I love Todd Grisham. Chris Maddox is good. Soja Moore are good. But Bradley and Joe Cacciatore for me by a mile. You?
Yeah. No, for me, it's top ranking. Well, again, it's just the educational pieces there. You learn so much as you're watching. You know what I mean? And as much as I like to think you and I know about the sweet science and this and that, I mean, just listening to Tim Bradley, listening to Joe,
he's a genius.
And just the way that team works in general, overall, like even the state of boxing afterwards, it's just a great combination that they all do. Now, big shout out to the UK commentators as well. They do a great job every year. They're always fun. I always enjoy it. Yeah, Todd Grisham, love him. Sergio Mora, I don't know. And I like him, but I just find sometimes he becomes too much of a homer.
And by the way, that Better Be a Bibble card was originally February, but happened in October. So just
exactly. There you go.
October 12th.
October. This is why I was thinking, wow, they're doing quick turnaround here from October to February. They're not wasting any time.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's a great card in itself. That might be the card of the year next year.
That card is loaded.
And we'll get into that when we get closer to it, because the one fight on that card that I'm really, really excited for is the Floyd Schofield against Shakur Stevenson fight.
That's a good fight.
I'm looking forward to that. I mean, that card alone, again, is just made up of fights that could carry its own show.
Yeah. That's the thing I like about His Excellency. He's stacking the cards, right?
Yeah. No, 100%, man. We got to get to Saudi Arabia here at some point, man.
I know. Everybody that goes there says it's absolutely amazing. It's clean. It's safe.
Dude, you can go to Saudi Arabia. You can leave your phone on the top of your car.
Nobody's going to take it.
Wait for 8 hours and come back. If anything, someone might take your phone and put it where your window wipers are.
Mhm.
and stuff like that. Like Saudi's so safe, but then again, I think it's a country where they know the consequences of your actions.
Oh yeah.
Same with Singapore.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just I think some of that, and I don't, I don't want to be political or anything, but I think some of that ideology needs to come over this side of the world.
Definitely wouldn't hurt. I'm looking at that Benavides card. We got Benavides Morel for the main event. We got Fagora versus Fulton 2. Pitbull's fighting on the card. Ramos Jr. So it's not a bad card either for PBC.
No, it's not
they
a
gotta start
bad
stepping
card.
it up. They're kind of getting left behind.
Well, dude, they're so far behind. I don't even know what they're going to do in 2025. Honestly, if David Benavides is your biggest name, who else do they got right now? They don't have anyone.
They got Crawford, Morel.
Not really. No, Crawford's independent, man.
Yeah, so I don't know. There's
nobody there.
They got Tank Davis. He's still one of the biggest stars.
Yeah, but
they got a few guys. Tank's fighting pretty soon here.
Tank is fighting soon too. I understand, but if you look at PBC right now, they look like the ghetto promotion. I'm sorry, I don't mean like to be disparaging in any way, but I just don't understand this Hal Heyman character. I don't get it. Like no one talks to him, no one hears from him, so there's no way to really understand where he's coming from or what his thinking is. Right?
Yeah.
Like he's missing the boat on everything. Like I don't know what his end game is here.
I guess he just wants to keep the fight kind of in the States and kind of stay building with what he's got. Yeah, we got Davis.
He has nothing because everyone's jumping ship. They're all looking over and seeing what's happening with everyone else.
Yeah, I know.
Right? There's only a matter of time before David Benavides even realizes, like, wait a minute, what am I doing?
Oh, I go where the money is. Yeah.
Right? Like you're about the money. You're about making money, and boxing isn't forever. Your time in the sport is short, so you want to make as much as you possibly can.
But it's short shelf life, man.
And to be fair, most of those guys in PBC spend more than they make. It seems like when you look at how they dress and what they drive and how they live. I'm so right or wrong?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I hope the PBC card's a success. Is on Amazon. Hopefully, it's good for them. But
Amazon, right. Respect to Amazon, but they're failing at the streaming thing, man.
Well, they got Thursday Night Football. They're trying to pick that up a little bit,
True,
right?
But I mean, who watches it on Amazon? I don't.
I think if you're in the States, you have to. I think down here we still get it in the TSN or whatever.
No, I get it. But it's just like, even with all of that, though, like I'm not even inclined to want to go to Amazon.
Yeah, if it's on the regular cable, I'd rather watch regular cable.
Right? Like if I'm on the road or something and, Monday Night Football or whatever they're showing, whatever football they show, right? It's just like, okay, well, whatever. Like I'll go to the Zone and watch it there.
Yeah.
Sort of a deal.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying. The Zone has so much streaming, man, so many services. It's never going to stop. Cable will be gone in a couple of years.
Okay, you know what? I was going to say we should do another one, disappointing promotion of the year. I think we already answered that one. They had a bad year. They really did. Last year, they were the top promotion of the year.
I gave it a top rank, but you gave it to them. But yeah, I could have went either way. But yeah, I know they're definitely behind the eight ball. But Heyman's a smart guy. He knows what he's doing. So hopefully... Well, he has up until now, so I think he'll figure it out.
I don't know, man. I think with everybody moving to the same platform, like Top Rank is leaving ESPN this spring. They're going to DAZN, right? You got Golden Boy on DAZN. You got Top Rank coming now this spring. Matchroom's already there.
All the Riot seasons
Queensberry's there.
You got to pay for it. $20, right? Great price.
Right. Yeah. Queensberry's already there. You got 4 of the big ones already there.
The Zone's taking over boxing with his excellency.
With Turkish, right? And quite frankly, Boxer is still on Sky. I mean, if you think about it, the Showtime or the PBC of Europe is Boxer.
Yeah, and anybody, some of these guys, they don't like how can anybody not love and like what his excellency is doing? He's given you every fight you could possibly think of. He's only been in this game for a year. And he literally gave you Better Be Evan Bivol. And then he followed up with Usyk and Fury. Oh, and by the way, he gave me Usyk and Fury again.
Then he gave us 5-on-5 this year.
Yeah.
Then he gave us the Boots card in LA.
Yeah. But I'm saying he gave us the biggest, all these dream fights. Oh, we'll never see Better Be Evan Bivol. Oh, we'll never see Fury Usyk. And he made it happen in 1 year. It's unreal.
Unreal. And
we don't waste time.
And we're getting the rematch.
Yeah.
Right? So, I mean, yeah, hands down.
McMahon was the first guy. And he told Dana White, guys, you got to go to Saudi Arabia. They're going to spend the money. It's big time there. McMahon started this, then Dana White. And the guys followed.
And to be honest, man, I mean, I'm really curious because Dana is such a hardhead. Dana White, right? He's just so stubborn and set in his ways. I almost feel that he might miss a bit of this action as well because I don't know how well he's going to work with Turkish. I mean, think about it. TKO owns both those companies.
That's what I mean. So it's not up to Dana, it's up to Ari, right?
Right. But the way Dana conducts themselves and everything, like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of curious to see what they do because they keep going.
Well, the thing with Dana, he knows how to make the big fights. We don't know how to do that in boxing. We needed Turkish to do that. Dana doesn't need Turkish to make the fights. He knows how to make them. That's our problem.
Yeah. But then Turkish is the kind of guy who could step in and say to Dana, "Hey, I want this instead of that."
Mm.
And that's what I think. And I think that's where I'm curious to see how that interaction works.
Yeah, I think it'll be okay because McMahon was buddies with both, and we kind of introduced him, but we'll see what happens. At the end of the day, the money talks, right?
Was he buddies with Dana, though? I thought Dana said he hated him.
No. McMahon wanted to fight him before. But Dana White said McMahon is the smartest, greatest promoter, and the best boss I've ever had. Even though it was a short period of time, he's like, the guy's a genius. No, Dana loves him. Don't get me wrong, 10, 15 years of fight. McMahon wanted to fight him just because it would have created money, right?
No, 100%. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. Year in review, Boxing 2024. What an amazing year. I cannot wait to see what we get this year. I guess the first big card of the year will be February the 1st, Super Bowl weekend, which is really interesting because we have
Vegas, T-Mobile.
Yeah, we have Royal Rumble that night too.
Oh, is it the same night?
Same night, man. First time in the history of the Royal Rumble that it's not in January.
Yeah, I actually have a chance to go to that Benavidez Morel fight. My buddy Laserbeam, he goes to MGM all the time, and he gets, when you gamble a bunch, you get comps and stuff. So they're offering him a comp at Park MGM, and they're offering those tickets to him for free. They throw it in packages.
Oh, okay, cool. You still have a chance to get them, or what?
He has them. He just claim them. Like, so when you do the gambling that he kind of does, they'll say, okay, we have this event here. We have an F1 event. We have Celine Dion. You can get a 4-night stay with $1,000 beverage credit, food credit, and you will throw your tickets in. So they just threw them the other night. Today, you can have Benavidez Morel tickets. You can have 4-night stay with this kind of beverage thing and stuff. It all depends on my kid's hockey. If he doesn't have hockey that weekend, I'll go. If he doesn't, I'll do it. So we'll see. Awesome. But he doesn't even like boxing. He's like, you could have him. I'll just go. He's got to be there to claim him, right? So we'll see what happens.
Very, very cool. Mm-hmm. All right, brother, man. That's it. The year is done. 2024 is hours away from leaving. I want to wish you a happy new year, my friend.
Happy new year. Well, I forgot to mention the female fight of the year. Serrano versus Taylor, too. I think that goes without saying.
The female fight of the year?
Yeah.
Did we talk about that already?
Yeah, no.
We didn't. Okay, yeah, we're in agreement. Amanda Serrano.
What a fight.
Taylor, phenomenal.
One of the best fights, not even just female fights, one of the top 3 or 4 fights of the whole year.
Get those girls through. Yeah. And, that's the one thing about fighting 2-minute rounds is the fact that you got to get it all in there right away.
All out, yeah.
Hard hitting, right? I mean, it's no slowdown. 3-minute rounds, it's different. You can feel it out, this and that. But what those girls did that night was phenomenal.
All-time classic fight.
Yeah, wrong girl won though. But unfortunately, in this case, but great fight nonetheless. All right, Mr. Michaels.
All right, buddy.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Wish you the best for the year. And to everyone listening, please enjoy your New Year's. Enjoy the day. Let's start it off fresh, brand new, no issues, no tissues. Let's make it happen. Believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, no one's going to believe in you. Very simply put. Right? You have to believe in yourself. You have to believe in your own abilities before anyone can even consider you. Don't forget that. It starts with you. No one else. Samp&Chance are out for 2024. Check you later.